I'm sorry that I took a week off or so. Things have been so hectic with me lately. So let's talk about that. First of all, last week was a very busy week for holidays and stuff, so let's go over some of them. There was World Schizophrenia Awareness Day. Now, schizoaffective, which I have, is on the schizophrenia spectrum. In case you don't know what schizoaffective is, it's symptoms of schizophrenia like hallucinations, delusions, paranoia, and it's symptoms of a mood disorder, in my case, bipolar, where there's a lot of ups and downs with mood, manic stages, and depressive stages. So I want to remember that World Schizophrenia Awareness Day. There also was Memorial Day. Now, for Memorial Day, I have a couple shout outs for Memorial Day. The first one is for Harry Hampton Johnson. He was my grandma's cousin. He was in World War II. He was a radioman, and he was on an airplane, went missing in action, and eventually was declared dead. They never found his body. So I'd like to remember him for Memorial Day. Another one that I have in my family tree is Ambrose Snodgrass. He was my third great grandfather's brother. He was in a POW in Andersonville. He got paroled and went to Camp Parole and died at Camp Parole of dysentery and scurvy. So those are two of my relatives or ancestral relatives that have died serving in wars. So I'd like to remember them for Memorial Day. Last month was also Mental Health Awareness Month. It's over now, but I want to remember that mental health comes in many forms, and try not to judge people by them. I know it's hard, especially with schizophrenia and schizoaffective disorder. But people are on different spectrums of where they're at in their illnesses. And Pride Month just began. So all those that are LGBTQ plus people, I know I have several children that fall under that. I want them to enjoy their month coming up. School has ended. So now my kids get to be home more. Last week was, and I'm going to pronounce this so wrong, and I'm so sorry to the Muslims out there, was a holiday called Eid. Anyways, my aide took a day off for that, so I wanted to include the Muslims in on this video. Also, last week was my 2 years since I had breast cancer. I had surgery 2 years ago for breast cancer. So I'm a survivor, and I wanted to get that out there because that was an important milestone for me. All right. So now that school is over with, we're adjusting to changes. The kids are home. My son is working, so he goes away on the weekends and works. My aide is changing. My last aide is done working, and my next aide starts this Saturday. So I have about a week in between having an aide. But I've had this new aide in the past, so this should be a good change. Should be simpler. Also, my meds are changing. Not my psych meds, but my diabetes meds. And sometimes when that changes, my system gets changes. Sometimes my mental health um, goes down a little bit or changes with that. And my husband has more time now that he has graduated from with his master's of divinity. He has more time. He's not doing schoolwork. So there's more projects that I'm coming up with for him to do around the house. Now, since day is all about updates, since I took a little break, I gotta tell you about my health update. My stool sample that I sent in for my colonoscopy or for my colon test came back that there was blood in my stool, so I have to have a colonoscopy. It must not be too urgent because they're waiting until August to do it. But I'm rather than thinking that I have colon cancer or anything, I really think it's because my hernia that I have. I think that's what the cause is. And I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to end up having surgery from that. But that's just me thinking and worrying. I don't think I have cancer though. I think the blood in the stool is just from my hernia. So that's another thing with my health update is I get my shot in a couple weeks, so my shot is starting to wear off. Um, so I am starting to take my extra med, my pill form of the shot to help me out with that. But it's going to be a tough couple weeks coming up with my mental health. My blood sugars are good, which is really good because when my blood sugars get off, sometimes my mental health gets off with that as well. So I've been working on projects. Let me tell you about my projects that I've been doing. So I cleaned out my pantry. I got rid of all the old food. I organized, straightened it all, cleaned it. So my pantry is clean. I cleaned out the freezer with the help of my son. So we got rid of the old food that's been sitting in the freezer for years. I never clean out the freezer, so that was a good thing. So now we have room in the freezer for fresher food, newer food. I put away my winter clothes for the summer and took out my summer clothes. That is quite a project to do. That took me several hours. All these activities took me several hours, to be quite honest. I'm very slow at doing my projects. And right now I'm working on getting my daughter's room cleaned out and organized so that we can start to paint her room. That's going to take me probably the whole week to do. But that's a project that I'm working on right now. So this was really just about updates. I'm sorry that I haven't been on recently. I'll talk more about mental health stuff maybe next time. Like I said, my mental health is going downhill and there's a lot of changes in my physical health. It all wraps up to where I have issues. And maybe that's what I'll talk about next time is how some of these changes affect me. But anyways, like and subscribe. Thank you. Have a great day. If you have any projects that you're working on, put it in the comments. Let's see what other projects I can come up with for the summer. Thank you. Bye.